a very booth junkie opening. Hi, how are you? Welcome to our new... Forgot about that. I don't know if you guys even heard it. Probably. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. Added some new animations, that's one of them. So yeah, this is, you know, I talked about a while ago. That wasn't the one I wanted to turn down. You know, every day that I don't go to work, I sit and I do this, right? I add the new stuff to the website. I add the old stuff to the website even. And now it's time to do that again today. It's been a productive week. So I've got this little board here. We're here, the big board. This is, well, you can't really see it. This is what, my horrible handwriting. This is what it's been added so far. All the Castlevanias, bunch of stuff. Right. It's been incredibly busy at work. So I've done things that I don't normally do at work, and that's one of them. So, thanks, Darku, for subscribing. So it's time to add some new stuff to the website. So it's Sunday, so we're going to add the new Dragon Quest right here. And then we're going to add 3 new games. Why is this? Why is that not showing up automatically? It's weird. I don't like it. Should probably turn it on too. Coffee? Are you almost done? Not quite. That's okay. I should see both of those so I can minimize that. Put these over here. Move the music over here. We can move YouTube over here. And then we will also drop this over here. Perfect. Who says 3 monitors is too many? I did for a minute. Okay. So first thing, go back. Oh, you can't see it now. It's all right. First thing, we're going to add the 2 new episodes of Dragon Quest to the Dragon Quest playlist. Right. It takes forever to populate that list because I got so many. Right there. Now we go to Dragon Quest. We have added Getting Sweaty with Eric and Sister. So I need to open both of those and check the playlist. Make sure YouTube put them in the right spot. Likely they did not. Nope. Always puts them in backwards. Every time. I don't know. Used to be, and I've complained about this before, used to be a million years ago. You could tell YouTube to sort your playlists by alphabetically. Can't do that anymore. Can't do that anymore. I don't know why, of all the things to get rid of, why would you get rid of that? Yeah, tell us how you really feel. Leave me a comment. So, I'm going to edit this. Talk about the website a little bit today while we're working. This is Cat Girl Without Salad music. Cat Girl Without Salad. So we are now working on C's today. So we need to work on D's. So we need to open 8. I need to give me 2 copies of that. Both of those. So, from Crypt of the Robo Egg, we're going to link to here, episode 9, which is Getting Sweaty with Eric. Good old Eric. Eric's a great guy. We sure do like Eric. Episode 9 links to episode 10. Episode 8 links to episode 9. And then this links to episode 9. And we need to add episode 9. Oh, in my head, it's just endless Peter Graves scenes from Airplanes. You remember Airplane? You remember Peter Graves? He was the pilot. Billy, you ever seen a grown man naked? That guy. We had fun with Eric. Okay, 9 done. So now we go to 10, which is sister, which is obviously, as everybody should know, a reference to this one line in the Mike Doughty song. Busting up a Starbucks. Obviously, everybody knows that. So we can't link to 11 because 11 doesn't exist. We are linked to 9. And we are linked to 10. Excuse me. It is very early. It is was about 6:30 when I got out here. Your old pal Jason is an early riser. But that's fine, because I have a breakfast date today. I wanted to make sure I got all this done before I went and had breakfast. So there. Okay, it's done. It's done. It's done. Excuse me, a little sniffly. Now, something else has come up. I planned this out for 100 episodes. Final Fantasy VII music. Currently, Dragon Quest XI, I have recorded 98 episodes, and I think I've got a 99th that needs editing. What is this? Action can't be complete because the file is... Oh, okay. That's what we're doing right now. That makes sense. So, yes, I do have a 99th. It's going to be over 100 episodes, so this will need to be adjusted at some point. But what I can do while we're here, video exported Dragon Quest. So 78, we stopped with Power Overwhelming. 79 is Danger. 80 is Opening Doors for Big Prizes. 81 is the Re-Reckoning. I can make up words. Shut up. Quest Collecting. Unexpected. Oh boy, I cannot type. Dragon. 84. Book It. 85. Fish related business. 86. Dragon problems. 87. Dragon goddamned warrior. 88. Behold my girth. That's right. That's very nice. Still so much to do. Your mascot. The Pantless Wonder. Hustlin'. Plot plenty. An armored whale. That's right. A tiny trial. The trouble with trials. A trio of trials to put behind us. Okay. See, it spoils it just a little bit, but not too bad, right? More Final Fantasy VII music. Coffee's ready. One of my favorite things about having, I want to say designed, laid this out. The way I laid this out is coffee's right there. I don't even have to stand up. It's fantastic. Fantastic. So, playlist. You can't see it because I don't have it set up in this source. But AMP, A-I-M-P, AMP, the music player that I use for the stream pre-music, pre-stream music, one of those, whichever one's correct. What I've done with this is every game that I've Let's Played, I have a soundtrack for, whether I've bought it, ripped it myself, or found it somewhere where it was available. I went and I downloaded the soundtrack. And I went through them. Excuse me. I went through all the soundtracks. I pulled out the songs I like the most and I put them in this playlist. And I thought I had everything done, but when Halloween came, we didn't have any Super Castlevania 4, which is criminal, really. So what went and done did is I finished up going through all of them up to my Super Nintendo music, got that all added. So what I have left, video game, I have 2 games from the TurboGrafx, 2 Let's Plays, and then I have 3 for the Wii that I need to add. And then I'll have to go back and verify, but I will have been through everything that I've Let's Played, minus what I haven't yet tracked down a soundtrack for. So, arcade games, Game Boy games, GameCube, Genesis, MSX, N64, PC, PlayStation, it's all by console, right? So I added everything up to and including Super Nintendo games. And this soundtrack, this playlist has 1,204 tracks in it as of last night. Well, yesterday sometime. So there. Yeah, it's very exciting. All right, that's not what I meant to do. We need this. What are the next games we're going to add today? Yesterday, we finished up with both the Chicken Polices. It still doesn't work. I don't know why that doesn't work. It's exactly the same as everything else. But for some reason, Chippendale does not want to work. We'll have to look at that because it is identical in the gallery to everything else. Anyway, today we're doing Chrono Trigger, Chuck Rock, and Clash at Demon Head. So first thing we need to do, Chrono Trigger, delete, Chuck Rock, delete, Clash at Demon Head, delete. And if you remember from last time, we do that because when I go to make the new pages, if anything else anywhere in the website is called that, it's going to get a 2 at the end of the slug, and I hate that. So, pages. Had a nice little talk with Coolio the other day about WordPress and how we really both just kind of hate it. So, Chrono Trigger. And I don't think he's ever even used it. But I'm using it here because it was going to I had to relearn something or start from scratch with this. And I'd rather start from scratch most times than relearn something because, oh boy, your old pal Jason's not great. Make duplicates of all the things we're going to have to use for these other folders. Once all those pages load, we put them away. And this is a problem I run into when I'm doing this stuff because I will open so many tabs. My host really doesn't like it. So then I have to kind of stop for a little while. I should shell out the extra money for the better hosting, but I don't want to. There's money. I'm already spending money on this. Not making any, which is fine. This is disposable income. Like such a thing exists. No, I consider this like when I do my budget breakdowns, because I'm an old man now, so I have to do that. I have pie charts. Oh man, the pie charts I have. I have pie charts about what kinds of pie I enjoy. I put this in my entertainment category because this is entertaining to me. So I am, you might notice this one's called Chrono Trigger Review. I am working on usually about once a night. I am working on no, don't need that. Writing reviews for some of these games, and they may eventually transition into video reviews. I don't know for sure. That sounds like work. And I don't want to do that much. I mean, is it really? Yes, a little bit. Is it terrible? I don't think so. Close that. There, save that. Close that. Now over here on the YouTube machine. Chrono Trigger playlist. 32 episodes. Oh, we're going to be here a minute. Nope. I'll grab this. Come over here. I have added this little, trying to talk and write at the same time. I should know better. This little segment, whatever you want to call it, with game information. Game boxes. I need to figure out, I'm doing something wrong here. And what I mean by that is, excuse me, when I go to my media library, excuse me, this is the Filebird plugin, and this is what it looks like, and this is what it does. But sometimes I can click there, or I can click there, and here it works. But as you saw when we were over here, trying to replace something from the media library, if I click here, no items found. So I've got to open the folder and go to the thing. I don't know why it does that. I don't know if that's a bug or a feature, but I don't like it. Anyway, let's add some episodes. What did we say? 32? So that means... Oops. I hate using hyphens for this. That means we need 16. But if I use period, it tries to turn it into a list, and then that's fine. But when I want to start the second column, like we're in right now, I can't start the list at anything other than 1. So what I end up with over here is a list, and over here paragraphs. And what I mean by that is this right here. So I'll have list on this side, paragraph on this side. And so the list is much more tighter than the paragraph. So the list side will be, you know, half the height. It's obnoxious. And you can't not do it because it's WordPress and it thinks, oh, you want a list, huh? And I could say, no, I don't want a list. It's just a mess. I want the list layout, the list format, but I don't want it to force me into a list. You know what I mean? Because if I could have both columns be the tighter format, that'd be great. One thing, and I don't know where I got into this. I didn't think that looked right. It's something to do with me, I'm sure. Because why wouldn't it? When I design, missed one. Ogre battle music. Tactics ogre. Close enough. I don't like tall web pages. So if I can use horizontal real estate, keep from using vertical real estate, I'd rather do that. I don't know where I got that. It's not something we were taught in junior high when I was learning to make websites, but it's just a thing I do. So I would rather make it wide. I cannot type at all today. I would rather make the site wide than tall. And that's great, except for when you're on a mobile device. But thankfully, we got to talk about this too. A lot of your modern CMS take that into account. I do not remember the Chrono Trigger Let's Play being so long. And 30 episodes is not terribly long, but over matter, which is fine. When I think about Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross is always like twice as long to me. And the Chrono Cross live stream, it was a live stream. So no editing out videos or battles and all that. It was only 40 episodes. So, not terribly long. Trigger. Okay. Save. We need to grab this. Drop that in there. Save. Excuse me. This is... What is this? Mega Man 7. Mega Man 7. I had to think about it for a second. Okay. Chrono Trigger, if that is indeed your name. So, as I was saying, every night I go and I pull out my laptop and I sit on the couch and I usually have a cup of coffee. Because I'm the kind of guy, ladies and gentlemen, I'll drink coffee. I'll drink a pot of coffee and go right to bed. It's a skill. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 32 of these. So eventually, all right, we're gonna catch all those up. Speaking of, I had to do this to keep track of where I'd been because I was adding games, adding soundtracks, and adding reviews, and it was getting difficult to keep track. So I did write a review last night for Barnyard Blast. Write that down. I do have this little sticky note plugin I got, which I keep track of here. Barnyard Blast, last game was more Mega Man. That little sticky note thing has been super helpful. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You can only do 10 at a time. I don't have to do 10 at a time, but it seems to work better. Well, that's doing that. Come over to YouTube. Those are done. Those tabs to the right. So that got us up to 20. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Let's get our first 10 episodes of Chrono Trigger open over here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Close those. 31, 32. Okay. Close those. Open this. Refresh this. Now open up 8 of those. 8 is fine. Okay. Now the fun part. No, not that. No, not that. I don't know how I pulled that off. I don't know how I pulled that off twice. 1 links to 2 and nothing else. This is Mega Man 5? Who is this? Gravity Man. Yeah. Mega Man 5. Gravity Man. Okay. Number 2. See you, Gravity Man. Two links to 3 and 1. This is Soul Blazer. This is probably my favorite track from Soul Blazer. Let me turn that up just a little bit. So 1 is done. 1 links, 1 has its description, has its video, it links to the episode list and episode 2. So we can close 1. Sorry, I saved it. I didn't save it. There. Ambushed by blue people. You could probably tell what happens in this video. Close episode 2. Episode 3. Three links to 4. 3 links to 2. Now we save that. 3 links here. That's Dragon Warrior music. Which one, though? I couldn't tell you. 9. That's Mega Man Unlimited music. Yo-Yo Man, I think? I didn't add a lot from Unlimited. Unlimited's good, but when you really approach the soundtrack, you know, kind of, I don't want to say in a vacuum, but on its own, you know, it's not as great without the game. I don't think. It's good, but some soundtracks are just better with the game than they are on their own. My personal opinion. And a hot take in the Discord chat the other day, as I was adding some of these, I added Final Fantasy IV. Man, Final Fantasy IV is just great. Like, start to finish. There's very few losers in the Final Fantasy IV soundtrack. So almost all of it's on there. And then I start doing Final Fantasy V, and nearly all of it is not in there. So five just does not do it for me. So I get to 6, and 6, there's not as much 6 in there as you might think. But there's still a lot, you know. And wow, is 4's soundtrack that much better? And I think it is. So then I get to Mystic Quest. I'm listening to the songs, trying to pick out what's going to go in the soundtrack. I'm like, you know what? Final Fantasy Mystic Quest has a better soundtrack than Final Fantasy V. And so I say so. Short Sleeve Misery, what are you doing? You can't do that. Gonna make me moderate. I'm busy. Block this user. Okay. Shovel Knight for this one. Anyway, so like, yeah, no, Mystic Quest. It's a really good soundtrack. Better than Final Fantasy V's. And I'm not going to name names, but this led to a discussion in the Discord of, well, the problem is you're just listening to a inferior version of the soundtrack. You need to listen to one of the remakes versions of the soundtracks. And I'm trying to explain my position is not that it's the quality of the soundtrack, the quality of the music, the recording, whatever, is not at issue. It's that the songs that have been recorded are not very good. That's my issue. I don't think the songs in Final Fantasy V are as good as the songs in Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or Mystic Quest. And that was my point. Not that, you know, if only the production of the songs had been better. If only they had better instrumentation, I would like the songs more. Because that's not the case. I just don't think the songs are good. And I've talked about this on the podcast a couple times. The Genesis, there's a lot of really good songs on the Genesis, which are, I think, unfortunately, hampered by the inferior Genesis sound fonts, because the Genesis doesn't have sound fonts. The Genesis has sound font, because the Genesis just kind of has general MIDI, and general MIDI, sometimes it's fine, but you listen to some stuff and it's just horrible. Like the composition is really good, but the playback is garbage. That is my personal opinion. Not everybody has to agree with me, obviously. If you don't, though, you are, of course, incorrect. And really need to reconsider all your life choices. No, I'm kidding, of course. Of course, we're kidding. But you take, like, and this is something, again, I've talked about on the podcast a lot. If you take, you can take, and there's videos of this on YouTube all over the place. Like, someone will take the Contra, Super Contra, or Contra 3, Super Contra? I don't remember. Whichever Contra's on the Super Nintendo. They will take a song from that, and they will reproduce it with the Mario World sound fonts. And that's something you can do. And you can't really do that with the Genesis because the sound font's consistent throughout the whole console because it's the console doing it. Whereas the Super Nintendo, it's the cartridge. The cartridge is what produces the sound, plays the music, and then the console broadcasts it. If that makes any sense. Sounds like another quintet game. Nope, it's Turrican. So here's a perfect example. This is Super Turrican. This is a Super Nintendo game. Super Turrican is an incredible soundtrack. Like, the production of this soundtrack is so good. I love the Super Turrican soundtrack. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic. But its instruments, the sound font for Super Turrican exists inside Super Turrican. It's not like a CD, right? So, like, if I take a CD, pretend this is a CD, because you've never seen one. You're young people. Take this CD and you go and play it in any stereo you want. It's going to sound the same in any stereo you want. That's how the Genesis works. The music exists on the cartridge, but is being produced by the sound chip in the Genesis. It's so hard to explain without sounding like I'm contradicting myself. On the Super Nintendo, the sound exists on the cartridge and is being produced by the cartridge and played through the console. That's why Super Nintendo games, the music sounds different. The sound fonts are all different. So this is Terranigma as an example. Also on the Super Nintendo. Now, obviously, Terranigma, action RPG, Quintet and Enix, it's got a very big fantasy adventure kind of thing, right? Super Turrican, man in metal suit, running, jumping, kind of sci-fi, kind of techie. Kind of more rock driven, so the instruments are different, but the sound font is different. If there's trumpets in Super Turrican, they're not going to sound like the trumpets in Terranigma. And that's what I'm talking about when I talk sound fonts. Whereas you take a Genesis game, Shining Force, trumpets in Shining Force sound like trumpets in Golden Axe, which sounds like trumpets in Sonic, which sounds like trumpets in whatever. Because the thing that is playing the The music is the console, not the cartridge. Oh, see, this means I've gone too far. I'm probably offline. I am not offline. It's not according to anything else in my offline. This is what it did to me yesterday, and I had to take a break for a little while. This basically means I've got too many things going on at the same time. And this is not a WordPress thing. This is a my provider thing. This means I've got too much stuff. Okay. 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 Don't want to get too far ahead of myself, because then the work I do stops being work. You know what I mean? So we can save that. Okay. Now we need number 10. So if you saw on my YouTube a couple weeks ago, I posted a thing where I ended up with a Switch and a couple of Xboxes. The Xbox. Good old Xbox. I haven't had an opportunity to get the Xboxes up and running yet. The 360 we're pretty sure needs a new power supply. I might be able to fix it. I haven't taken it apart to look at it. But there's an Xbox One. This is great. This is brilliant, Microsoft. So there's an Xbox. That's Geppy. So the first Xbox is not the Xbox One. The third Xbox is the Xbox One. I think that's how that works. Excuse me. Anyway, so I got the Switch. Like, I'll actually use this one. There's a couple things on the Xbox I would like to let's play someday, but for now, we'll deal with that later. Excuse me while I open the next 10 episodes on YouTube. 12. Where are you? 13. 13. 14. 15. 16. So, you get the Switch out, set it up. 17, 18, 19, and where's 20? And it's going pretty good. Got some games put on it, because, you know, that's what you do. And I thought, you know what I'd really like to have? I thought, because I just did a review of it on the website here, I thought, Bahamut Lagoon. I wouldn't mind playing that again. Surely it's available. It's not available. Well, that sucks. What else could I play? What else could I enjoy? Something that doesn't need a whole lot of attention, but something fun, right? So I look up Ogre Battle. Ogre Battle's not available. One of the tactics games is available, but none of the, and it's the re-release of Let Us Cling Together. But I want, Ogre Battle 64 is not on there. March of the Black Queen's not on there. Made me sad. Like the two games that I thought, oh, this would be fun. I should get these and I can play these. No. Oop, what'd you do that for? This keyboard, when I first got it, it takes such a light touch. It was very difficult for me to learn how to type on it, and I still kind of hate it. And not for the touch. I don't like it. I know I complained about it last time, but this is still Geppy. Good old Geppy. I don't love this keyboard. There are things about it I do like. There are things about it I really don't like. Typing on it is not enjoyable. That's why normally when I sit down to do the reviews for the website, I do them in the house on the laptop. Because I find typing on that to be a more pleasant experience than typing on this. I know that's not the end of the song. Come on back, Japanese man. Watched, we talked about a movie. I was on a stream a couple of nights ago. Last week's stream, I think. Watched a movie called, I think it's Attack of the Monsters. I couldn't look it up at the time because we were streaming, but I can look it up now. This is on Tubi. Let's search riff tracks. Oh, there's a lot of riff tracks on Tubi. Where is it? Come on. Samurai Cop. Good old Samurai Cop. The Phantom Creeps. That's a Mr. Science Theater movie. Speaking of Ogre Battle. Where is it? Santa Claus. I love Santa Claus. No? Oh, here it is. Attack of the Super Monsters. Okay, I'm going to just read the blurb here. Not much of a blurb. The Riff Tracks crew spares no slights as they take in this 1982 live-action anime monster mash about hypnotic dinosaurs training small animals to kill. So, Attack of the Super Monsters. Let's look up Attack of the Super Monsters and see what it's all about. There. The original Dinosaur were Eisenborg, a Japanese television program, second installment of the, oh boy, Subuira? I don't know, Dinosaur Trilogy, which included Dinosaur Expedition Born Free and Dinosaur Cops Koseiden. Aired on TV in Tokyo from 97 to 78. Running for 39 episodes. It combined Suburaya's Tokatsu techniques with anime. What's Tokatsu? Live action film make heavily use of practical special effects. First 4 episodes released on VHS. Compilation Attack the Super Monsters. In the year 2000, so the past, it has been discovered that there are dinosaurs residing in a vast underground environment, with the majority of these species having evolved an intelligence on par with the human race. They are led by a Tyrannosaurus named Ururu, known as Emperor Tyrannus in the English dub, who plans to eradicate humanity and reinstate dinosaurs as the dominant life forms on Earth by using his powers to brainwash his subjects into destructive monsters that obey his every command and listen to Final Fantasy VI music, sending them out to the surface world to wreak havoc on human civilization. The special OP's unit D-Force is founded to combat the monstrous dinosaurs with specialized combat vehicles and cybernetic implants given to its members. So, imagine you take a picture. Take a picture of a street. and then you put anime on top of it. You don't do anything with the picture. It's still just a picture, but you've put anime on top of the picture. And these anime on top of this picture are fighting with men dressed up in dinosaur costumes and also dinosaur hand puppets. That's what this is. And our heroes, Jim and Jem, because that doesn't get annoying, have the power of Gemini, ladies and gentlemen. It's kind of like a Wonder Twins thing, but not quite. So they say, Gemini something something, and then they touch wrists, like Wonder Woman. And then they go into another room. I don't understand it. And they go into a closet, and then they come out, and they're one person. They are Gemini. Because there's two. And instead of being all red like Jim is, or all green like Jem is, it is now just a slightly bulkier Jim who is red on one side and green on the other side. And this really does absolutely nothing for them, but they get a fancier supercar. That's all. This is rock candy music from Earthbound. So like their supercar is a supercar, but when they Gemini, their supercar turns into a super jet with a drill on the nose and saw blades on the wings. But they can only stay as Gemini for 3.5 minutes. If they don't ungemini, they die. Yep. It's amazing. It's amazing. You gotta watch it. So it's on Tubi. I should have put it over here on this one. I'm sorry. Wasn't thinking about it. Where the hell are we? Number 14, Decision of the Skies. You know, that's a title of a Blues Traveler song. Was that a... Let's see, now I'm going to have to look that up. Was that on Bridge? Yes. Decision of the Skies on the Blues Traveler album Bridge. There's an unreleased Blues Traveler album. I need to make sure I've still got it somewhere. It's fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. But it was kind of a little experimental. There's only 4 tracks. And one of them is like 15 minutes long. And it goes through this whole story of this guy and the lady he's in love with, and he's going off to fight the good fight in the war. And, you know, war never changes. I don't know if you guys know that. War never changes. Wow, I didn't do anything. This one, I'm so off my game right now. Anyway, phenomenal album, and the driving decision, I don't want to say that. One of the decisions they made behind making that album was, you know, Blues Traveler, really kind of known for John Popper and his incredible harmonica playing, was they wanted to make an album that had none at all. And I don't think there might be just a tiniest little bit, but it's not a front and center thing like it was in a lot of the other albums. And it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I love it. But I'm a fan, so. I promise if I go to look anything up, I'll use this window and not this window, the one you can't see. I just forget. I forget sometimes, you know? I'm just learning how to stream on a PC, guys, just like our buddy Phil. And type. And spell. For those of you who don't follow Phil, good for you. I wish I could walk away, but I'm in too deep. He just this year finally, well, maybe last year, just finally got to the point where he's like, I just need to start streaming on PC. I guess There's no other way to do it. It's impossible. You know, like he does. And for like the first 3 months, that was like a selling point to get people to give him money. It's like, I'm streaming on PC now, guys. You don't understand. This is mind opening. It's never before in the world has anybody done such a thing. Never before. It's just a strange man. Anyway, we're gonna leave these two alone because that's annoying. We'll just come and pull the other 8 from here. But yeah, he's all, guys, I could stream on PC now. I'm incredible. You guys really should be giving me more money because it's something I can do now. Because people have been telling him for years, you know, a lot of this stuff you're trying to do would be easier on a PC. And then he was like, I can't do that. Do you guys know how expensive it would be? I'd have to get one PC to play the game and one PC to capture it and one PC to broadcast the game. It just can't be done. You guys are all idiots. You guys really don't know what you're talking about. Just shut up. You guys are just dumb. You know, that's his whole thing. And I don't, you know, he's annoying. Chasm music. Chasm had such a good soundtrack. I really hope the people who made Chasm are working on another game right now. Because look, if you're listening, Chasm developers, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. Shut up and take my money. Okay. I love Chasm. Chasm's so good. But it's just perfect. Like for me and what I like to play, Chasm is so perfect. Because why don't I have an 18? Did I miss 18? I missed 18. So the word, sorry, I get thrown around a lot. I hate that word. I've ever told you guys I hate Metroidvania as a term. Gets thrown around a lot with a bunch of different games. And you know, we play a lot of them. We play a lot of them on this. The Ocean Plays. What the hell was I doing? We play a lot of them on this channel. Jesus Christ. I am struggling. We play a lot of those games on this channel. Action, adventure, exploration games. Right? And, you know, we just did Bow, Path of the Teal Lotus not too long ago. And we're doing Gal Guardians right now. We did 8 Doors. We did a little, what's that other one? Oh, Hollow Knight forever ago. So we play these games. We did Chasm. We streamed Chasm. We streamed Dust. Zelda 2. Castlevania 2. We do a lot of these games. And a lot of them really do play very well. And Chasm plays phenomenally well. I got no beefs with Chasm at all. And one of the things that Chasm did that a lot of these others, I think, don't really catch the vibe for is Chasm throws very little plot at you. There's a little bit in the beginning. There are some NPCs that you do have to talk to, but it's not real long. It's not real boring like some other games like Metroid Fusion. Even the Castlevania games I do like Portrait of Ruin and Aria of Sorrow, Dawn of Sorrow, they have really long dialogue scenes. You don't need that in your games. I mean, if it's a narrative-driven game, sure you do, but Chasm just lays it out. There's trouble happening over here. You young recruit, go fix it. Okay. And you get there and you say, hey, there's trouble. What do I do? And the guy's like, everybody was being kidnapped or they're trapped in the mines. Can you go save them? You say, okay. And that's really it. That's all the story you need. After that, it's just, you run into a couple people and they're like, yeah, this thing happened. It was kind of weird. And then you run into the doctor, the little professor dude, and he's like, I'm exploring ancient ruins. If you see me, say hi. And then that becomes the goal, you know. But it's not very like, story, look at it, here it is. Some games do that pretty well. Like I said, Metroid Fusion, I don't care for because of that. But then 9 Years of Shadows, it did it. And I didn't hate it in that game. Because it felt more appropriate to that game. Metroid, you don't need elevator cutscenes in Metroid. You don't need talking in Metroid. I think the modern, quote-unquote, modern Metroid game that did that best, you know, was Prime. Because it's logs and they're optional. You choose to read them if you want. And of course, you know, when we get around to Let's Playing that someday, we're going to read them. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 28. 28, 29. We're almost done with Chrono Trigger. I just, you know, Metroid is not about story. Metroid is about Metroids. You go get them. Here's a game that's about some story. Earthbound. But maybe that's me just being a grumpy old man. But I have been playing through Fusion a little bit. Kind of familiarize myself with it for the upcoming Let's Play. Whenever that's going to be. Excuse me. I really don't enjoy that game. I don't like all the plot in it. The X parasite thing I think is dumb. And you know, way back when, and even now, stuff pops up in my YouTube stuff. It's like, why Metroid Fusion is so great at creating a feeling of dread. Metroid Fusion is not great about creating a feeling of dread, ladies and gentlemen. Metroid Fusion, and like, why is it the hardest Metroid game ever? It's not. Every enemy in that game drops health when you kill it. Every enemy in that game. I mean, with the exception of maybe figuring out a boss fight or two, low health should never be an issue in Metroid Fusion. It just shouldn't, because it's not that hard. Not just because, man, not just because the game is just handing out health like Halloween candy, but it's just not. It's not a difficult game to me. I don't think it's hard. I think I really don't like the way they altered the power-up thing. It's like, Samus, you're an independent contractor. You do not work for us. You do not this or that, but we can't let you have bombs until the committee approves of it. And I get, like, the whole thing. They were trying to make this Federation thing like a bigger, more important influence, but I don't know. It just seems silly to me. Oops. This is either Toem or Melon Journey music. Melon Journey. I was pretty sure it was Melon Journey. Didn't quite have the Toem vibes, but anyway, just know that when Metroid Fusion comes around, it's not going to be, guys, I'm so excited. This is the best Metroid game ever. And another thing that, you know, upsets me about Metroid Fusion is it is given credit for being all these things that other Metroid games do that people hated in other Metroid games. For example, people hate Metroid 2. Well, I shouldn't say. This is a very generalized thing. Okay. People dislike Metroid 2 because it is so linear. Because there's not a lot of going and backtracking and exploring and all the things that are Metroid to Metroid, right? But then I read reviews about Fusion, and people love that about Fusion because they say it really cuts down on the getting lost in the backtracking when the game forces my hand to go to these places and do these things. But you said the same people who I read reviews of Metroid 2 for, because I read these for the podcast, who complained about Metroid 2 being linear, praise Metroid Fusion for being linear. Now, I just think that's stupid. Right? Just come out and say Metroid 2 was hard. I couldn't find my way around because the game didn't hold my hand enough, so I hate it. Metroid Fusion is hard, but it held my hand, so I love it. Makes me mad. It's good enough for one, it's got to be good enough for the other. My beef with Metroid Fusion, as we talked about, is, and it's like my beef with Final Fantasy VII. It's not so much the game as it is the legend around the game. Like Final Fantasy VII, as a game, it's probably a solid 7. I wouldn't call it an 8 out of 10. But you talk to some people and they're like, if I could give this a 12 out of 10, I would, because it's flawless. It is the greatest thing. And I complain about this a lot. But it's a similar thing with Fusion. And that's what drives me nuts about it. Super Metroid, much better at creating a sense of foreboding and atmosphere of dread than Fusion is. The SAX is around every corner, ready to kill you anytime, and you can't fight it, you just gotta run. The SAX shows up like 3 times. And 2 of those 3 times, you don't have to run, you just hide. And then you fight it at the end. And by the time you fight it at the end, and the SAX fight is ridiculously easy because you can get it caught in a thing, or you can just screw attack it. This is Arkista's Ring. This is good. This is a good game. So as I've been redoing these and writing reviews for these, right, I'm having to come back and look at some of these other games just to get them kind of fresh in my mind again. And Arkista's Ring was not developed by the same company that made Amagon, but it was published by the same company that made Amagon. American Sammy. And they're 2 vastly different games of vastly different quality. I like Amagon, because Amagon is kind of garbage. It's just dopey and weird. The gameplay is kind of garbage. That Megagon thing is weird. But, it's kind of fun. It's frustrating as hell because it's just built that way, right? The game is just built to kill you if you're not paying attention. But it's kind of fun. And Arkista's Ring, this is just chill. You know what I mean? This is just chill music. Not all the music is chill, and not all the stages are chill, but just the vibe is so totally different between the games. And that's good. I think a game publisher, unless this is your thing, You know, unless you have a thing and your thing is Amagon. You know, branch out, do some different stuff. But again, this is published by, not developed by American Sammy. American Sammy did some weird games. I don't remember if they did one called, I think it was Athena. Let's look. Look, I remembered to use the right one. Oh, SNK. This is a strange game, ladies and gentlemen. Fantasy world of boundless adventure. I am Athena, goddess of wisdom. I have grown weary of my dull life. Fantasy world. Strange and fearsome creatures. I will find weapons. A ball and chain, a bow and arrow, a mighty sword. In fantasy world, I can put on wings, become a mermaid. The goddess of wisdom can become the princess of victory. This is a bizarre game. A friend of mine had this. What is this one? It's buggy and weird. You can't really see it, but yeah, it's just a guy with a hammer and a pig head, and you break blocks and pick stuff up. What is this? Oh, Breath of Fire. Breath of Fire 3 even. This, you know what? We could probably stream this someday. I can't imagine it's very long. Athena went on to appear in fighting games made by SNK. SNK versus Capcom, Chaos, and Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. Most of her moves and mannerism in this game would appear in the fighting games. What other trivia is there? Oh, none. Thank God. It's bad. It's bad. It's worse than Amagon. They said it's just janky and weird. Gato the Invincible. In this episode, we went and spent a lot of time with Gato showing off dual techs and triple techs. And probably some single techs as well. It's almost got a Chrono Trigger-y vibe to it, that music. Monster Party. Monster Party opening movie. Yes, got it. I like this game. I try and guess the music. Play along at home. Your copy of the home game. Speaking of great music, the Black Omen music from Chrono Trigger. Good stuff. Did I put Chrono Trigger in the playlist? I don't remember putting Chrono Trigger in the playlist. Chrono Cross is in the playlist. Chrono Trigger's in the playlist. Okay. I was going to be very upset with myself if I hadn't done that. Where the hell are we? Copy that. Well, this is Kirby music. I kind of want to let's play a bunch of the Kirby games, but I kind of don't. I don't particularly love the Kirby games. I don't hate them. I don't really get all the hype about them. I think they're good, but I don't love them. Plus, Coolio has, I think, already played almost every Kirby game ever. And I realize, you know, there's no law that says, you know, Coolio played them, so I can't play them. But, you know, he's better at them than me, so you know, why see me be bad at something when you could watch somebody else be good at something? I have one too many. How do I do that? So if you want to watch some Kirby, Coolio's got you covered. Unfortunately, though, when Coolio plays Kirby, I feel like he really hinders himself by not using gun as much as he should. Is one of Kirby's finest abilities, gun. How is this? Oh, Harmful Park. Harmful Park was fun. Story about Harmful Park. How is this? Okay. A million billion years ago. Oh. This one. Trash that one. This is County Line Gaming days. What's going on? Get out of here. A million billion years ago. I believe it was Nakatulili? I could be wrong, but I believe it was Nakatulili. Was doing a Super Metroid race. And it was going to be hosted somewhere. And something happened and that ended up falling through. So we said, hey, we can do it here. We got a website. Totally fine if you want to do it here. And I got involved. And it was like a point thing. It might not have been Naka. I don't remember now. Anyway, there's like a point thing. If you finish within X amount of time, you got so many points. If you finished with X amount of completion, you got so many points. And then there was points for creativity. So if you did something in a unique way, sequence breaked or whatever, you got bonus points. So I played. Can't remember. I think Behold My Strength played. A couple other people played, and it's been so long I don't remember. But I was the only one who played it on the hardware. I did it my usual playthrough. But the problem I had is I'd been watching Behold My Strength's Super Metroid Impossible for such a long time that it had started to replace regular Super Metroid in my brain. So I would go to a room like, okay, if I jump up here, there's a platform and I can do this and I can do that. And so I jump up there and there'd be no platform. Like, what the hell? There's supposed to be a platform here. It was much later that I remembered, oh yeah, wrong game. Excuse me. Anyway, Chrono Trigger's done. I believe this is also Arkista's Ring? No, yes, this is Arkista's Ring. Pause screen, yeah. Excuse me. Anyway, so there ended up only being like 3 of us who completed it, and I placed last, which was fine. But the 2 people I was up against, honestly, much better than me. But I cannot remember this guy's name now, and I feel bad for that. One of the other participants kind of hung out and said, here's a game that you might enjoy playing. And he mentioned Harmful Park. I'm like, I've never heard of this. What is this? Checked it out. It was great. Had a wonderful time playing Harmful Park. It's got a good soundtrack. So that's my story about Harmful Park. Forever ago, I was supposed to mention something about the website. The theme that I normally use for the website, that I had been using with the last kind of redesign, has stopped working. Something to do with a font not loading and I have done all the things that I can think of to try and fix it, and it just don't load no mo. So, if you'd visited the website on and off for a couple days, you might have noticed the look of the website changing several times. I was trying to find something that would have done the job kind of close to what we were looking at originally. And I haven't really found one. But I think I've settled on the one that, whoa, how crazy Moonspeak was that? I think I've settled on one that will do the job. I hope. Yeah, I was going to say, I think this is Final Fantasy IX, and it is. Chuck Rock. This was requested by... Maybe I got it in a description. John Dossbox from forever ago, back in the County Line gaming days. So, I hope you watched it, John, and I hope you enjoyed it. I don't even know if you're still around, John. Oops. This is why I can't do it line by line. I have to do this because I will forget. Death snowballs. Gary. Fun fact. This is where they got the idea for that vault in Fallout 3. With all the Gary clones. Here's another fun fact. That is neither fun nor a fact. Yeah, okay, we got that. So I didn't grab that. I've noticed as I've been doing this, when I make a playlist on YouTube, I go to GameFAQs and I grab the blurb, unless it's crummy, then I go find a better one, and I use that blurb as the description for the playlist. Some of them have changed in the time since I've made the playlist. Like, this was a direct copy and paste from GameFAQs. Excuse me. So you gotta keep an eye out on that. Even sometimes as we do the playlist, or the playlist, as we do the podcast, if you don't, like, the back of the box for some of these games has some problems. So, for example, excuse me, the back of the box for Metroid, 2, 3, 4, 5, says it's a 2-player game. Obviously, Metroid is not a 2-player game, unless I died, here you go, like we used to do when we were younger people. But there's typos. For example, in Metroid, you can lick the ice beam. It's supposed to be like the ice beam, talking about all these great superpowers you can find, like the ice beam, high jump boots, blah, blah, blah. But they left the E out, unlike, so it's lick the ice beam. Many things, ladies and gentlemen, I would not lick. An ice beam is one of them. It'd be like that scene in A Christmas Story. I triple dog dare ya. So here's an example, something I talked about earlier, doing Final Fantasy IV music. Having a wider website than a taller website. I could put episode 4 and 5 over here. It wouldn't make it that much taller. I could leave it over here and it doesn't get any taller. I don't like scrolling when I'm trying to read a thing. I want it on the screen. I don't want it so compact that it's like trying to read a little bit of newspaper kind of thing, But, I don't want to have to scroll. I'm lazy. I don't know what that says about me. I'm sure it says something about me. I'm sure a lot of things I do say a lot of things about me. Probably not many of them good. But I got nothing to hide. I'm the sum of my vices. And that is a big number. It is a big number. I want to live and laugh at love. I don't remember what this was. I think here in good old Chuck Rock there was a dinosaur. I know, shocking, right? Caveman game has a dinosaur. Breaking news. And something like his pre-demise sprite or his post-demise sprite was just ridiculous. That's what I remember. So let's listen to this trumpet. That's so good. But that doesn't sound like trumpets in Zelda. Doesn't sound like Link to the Past trumpets. More Mega Man Unlimited. Final Fantasy IV is just really damn good. It's got some problems, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not one of these people. It's like, it's flawless. It's fantastic. It's got some problems. Especially the kind of botched translation that we got. It's got some problems, but that's a hard game to beat, man. And the funny thing about Final Fantasy IV, for me anyway, is that it really doesn't have a lot of the things in it that I like about other Final Fantasy games, like the job system, like Final Fantasy 3 and 1, 3, 5, to an extent 7 and 8, tactics, you know. And we'll talk about that in a second. But it doesn't have that. It's very Final Fantasy 9-ish. You know, this is what you do. This is who... Rosa, you are a white mage. Aiko, white mage. This is your job. You don't do anything else. And one of the things I like about the other games, one of the things I like about Ogre Battle, is the ability to train in different things and learn how to do different things, and you unlock these other jobs and etc, etc. I like that. And Final Fantasy IV doesn't have that, but I think it works so well that it's one of my favorites. It is top 5 Final Fantasy games for me. I love it. But it has its problems, you know. There's not a lot of extra things to do, really, in Final Fantasy IV when you kind of get down to it. And a lot of the other Final Fantasy games don't particularly have a ton of extra stuff. 6 has a ton of stuff. And I have some problems with 6. I love 6. But some of my problems with 6, and my problems with 6 reappear in 7 and 8. And 10, now that I've played 10, I can say that. Because 10 kind of tried to straddle the line between both, and I think 10 fails miserably. So what I'm talking about, and I've talked about this before, so if you've heard this before, I apologize. Some people are new here, right? And they want my own special, unique blend of cantankerous herbs and spices. That's it. Chuck Rock's done. Starting with Final Fantasy VI. Oh, it's lunar music. So starting with Final Fantasy VI. 6 kind of has a job system. You know, Locke's a thief. Mog's a Moogle. Gogo's a mimic. Sabin's a monk. Edgar's this. Strago's this, Blue Mage, you know, all that kind of stuff. But because everybody can learn every ability, and what I mean, like, you can teach anybody in that game, with the exception of really 2 characters, you can teach everybody every magic spell ever. Doesn't mean they're going to be great at it, But you can teach everybody every single spell. And it really, to me, kind of reduces usefulness of certain characters. If everybody can do everything, you're... What's the best way to say this? If everybody can do everything, you have less incentive to take certain people in certain situations. Because, like, normally I would bring somebody here who can cast fire magic. But because everybody can cast fire magic, it really doesn't matter who I bring. Because everybody can cast fire magic. You know what I'm saying? So, when I first got the game and was playing... I keep looking up to make sure I'm not missing anything. When I first got the game... And I didn't really think about that all the way through because it was, you know, junior high, and I bought the game with my own damn lawn mowing money. Sure did. It was expensive. It was like $60. Excuse me. You know, speaking of Final Fantasy VI, I took certain people frequently because they were really good. But the problem with doing that is I was taking these certain people frequently, teaching them all the spells. With the level up thing with the Espers, these like 4 people got super duper ultra powerful. And then everybody else kind of, you know, fell to the wayside. That's on me. 100% on me. Can't blame nobody but myself for that. But, you know, had I approached it more of, you know, this person is really designed for this. This person is really designed for that. I think I would have had a better time. Instead of saying, you know, everybody can do everything, so it doesn't matter who I take. And obviously, you know, that's not 100% true because everybody does have their own kind of talent, skill set, but stats even. But at the same time, it really kind of cut down on the variety for me. And that's the problem I have with Final Fantasy VII, because not only can everybody learn how to cast every magic spell, but everybody can steal. Everybody can use enemy skills. Everybody can do this. Everybody can do that. Everybody can do everything, just depending on which kind of shiny magic rock you give them. And that, I just don't like that. I like variety, but not at the expense of, I don't even know the best way to say it. I like variety, but not at the expense of keeping things interesting. How about we say it like that? Can we say it like that? Let's say it like that. So there's 5 episodes of this. 2, 3. So recently, and I think in the last Let's Play I did of Final Fantasy VI, I did this. Not the 3-character run, not Eternal Crystals, but what I did when I did the last Let's Play Final Fantasy VI, if you haven't seen it, is only people that had innate magic could learn magic. Edgar didn't learn magic. Cyan didn't learn magic. Locke didn't learn magic. Terra did. Celeste did. Strago did. Realm did. And Realm I was kind of iffy about, because does she, doesn't she? But she was, you know, genetically kind of a thing. This is Gunmetal. Gunmetal Arcadia. Nope, not 0. Just regular. So that made the game so much more interesting for me in a gameplay position, because I did have to think about things a little harder. Final Fantasy VI is so easy that, you know, anything to make it a little more challenging without, you know, going full on game breaking ROM hack where you've got to power level through everything just to make the game playable. So that was something that I wanted to do. And when I say Final Fantasy VI is easy, Final Fantasy VI is really easy. The game really gives you everything you would ever need to get through it without dying ever. Excuse me. And, you know, our good buddy Phil did himself a Let's Play. This is Final Fantasy IX music, right? No, 8. This is 8. Our good buddy Phil did him a Let's Play of Final Fantasy VI a while ago. And it's his favorite game, and he loves it, and it's amazing. And he's got, ladies and gentlemen, you wouldn't believe, he has the strategy guide from 20 years ago that he bought with this game. Well, so do I. You're not special. But he got a game over in the first hour. And I don't know how you get a game over in that game. It's not that hard. And when I say it's not that hard, and when I say, you know, the game really gives you everything you need to not die, it is a little more difficult in the beginning, for sure. But that's every game. But what I mean by that is, when I say the game really gives you everything you need to succeed, just think about it. If you've played the game, you're familiar with the relic system and the weapon and armor system. How many... I hate the YouTube search. I really do. How many pieces of equipment are there that either half damage from fire, nullify fire, or drain fire? There's shields that just about everybody can use. There's helmets that just about everybody can use. There's some armor that everybody can use that, you know, can eat a lot of the damage that's coming at you. So if you just know, you know, I'm going into a cave filled with lava, I should probably put on that fire shield. You'll get out of that game in a snap. It's so easy. And you know, I don't mean to bring up Phil so much. I really don't. But Chrono Cross music. But you know, I think it's Will Smith. There's a Will Smith meme. It's like, he's a little confused, but he's got the spirit, something like that. That's kind of how he approaches Final Fantasy VI, because he went to fight the Dirt Dragon, the one in the Opera House in the second half of the game, you know? And he's like, I didn't bring anybody who can cast float. We're going to die. We're going to die, guys. That's the only way. You have to know. You have to cast float or you're going to die. Because he's got ground attacks and they're going to kill you. He's just going to kill you with his ground attacks. And, you know, float's nice. It will help. But a much smarter way to go about that, ladies and gentlemen, is you equip Gaia gear, which is a series staple. And you take that Gaia gear and you put it on your characters. Now every time the Dirt Dragon casts Quake, he heals you. So then you only have to worry about his beefy physical attacks. Like, if you've played the game that much, you know, there are just things that you pick up on. And I feel like that's a pretty common, you know, the game gives you a piece of equipment. I missed a link. The game gives you a piece of equipment that will absorb this thing. So just put that on instead of doing float, which will wear off, or going to the auction house and spending a ton of money on cherub downs. Just, you know, Gaia gear's easy to find and it's cheap and it drains earth attacks. Plus it boosts a couple other little stats too. Anyway. Sorry. It upsets me. Some of the things in there he did right. Some of the things in there he did horribly wrong. And part of the thing that he runs into is he doesn't pay attention because he's too busy watching his chat scroll by, you know, like a hawk, making sure no one's saying anything mean about him. So then something happens and he misses it. And he's like, what happened? What was that? God, game. You know. Pay attention to the game, man. Doesn't take you but a second. You know, you should have moderators. You also over moderate your own chat, so you weren't so uptight. People wouldn't be so mean to you. If you weren't such an asshole, people wouldn't pick on you so bad. I'm an asshole. People pick on me. But not in my stream chat, because nobody attends my streams. It's fine. Anyway. Good old Clash of Demon Head. This was a weird game, ladies and gentlemen. It's got some weird box art. Didn't even talk about it. What is this? I don't remember this. It sounds kind of Parasite Eve-y? Is it? Yes, it is. It is Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve's a good game. And then they made a second one, and oh god. And then they made a third one. Oh god. Parasite Eve was one of the first. I know people are hesitant to call it a survival horror because it's more RPG-ish. But I think it's because you can't go and buy stuff. You're really limited to what you can procure. But I think it's an adequate, example of a survival horror game. One of the first ones I ever bought, ever owned, still own it, love it to death. And the other one that I got around about the same time was Vagrant Story, which again, I love that game. Absolutely love that game. I think it's amazing. We're gonna view Clash. We're gonna view Chuck. We're gonna view Chrono because now we need to come back to our media library. We need to re-add those thumbnails. It looks like Demon Head's one word there. We're going to go 2 words. Over here, grab that. Drop it in there. I don't know what this is. The soundtrack. Might it be Ocean's Heart? Poem? Oh, it's Old Man's Journey. That's what it is. That was a fun little game. That was a fun little game. Okay, those are done. Don't need you anymore. Our galleries. Random. None of those games were live streams. Something I've been meaning to do. Maybe we work on it together. Maybe we do that. Funk. Maybe we do. We added Chrono Trigger, Chuck Rock, and Clash at Demon Head. something I've been wanting to do, and I haven't figured out a great way to do it without making more of these galleries. And I feel like I've got a ton of them already because I've got like 30 and I don't really want to make more. But the default, I don't really love it because it won't do what I want it to do. I'm going to show you here. So let's take a adventure. We'll do ActRaiser. ActRaiser's good. That's Secret of Mana music. I don't even think about that one. It's kind of a jazzy soundtrack, Secret of Mana. So something I want to do. ActRaiser 2, Terranigma, Soul Blazer, an Illusion of Gaia, are all kind of in this unofficially in a series kind of thing. Some games I think officially are, some games officially aren't, but as far as I'm concerned, they all really exist in this same universe. Because it's very samey. So the way I see it, if you're not familiar with them, in ActRaiser here, the first one, you can read the thing. Long ago, people built land, world is taken over, inhabited by evil Tanzra, once tranquil land, breeding ground for monsters. Injured, you retreated to your sky palace and fell asleep. Years have passed, recovered, you must punish, and people restore faith, blah, blah, blah. Final Fantasy IX music. So, I see ActRaiser 1 as kind of like the beginning of this series. And then ActRaiser 2 happens, which is a sequel to this one, obviously, but it's in the distant future from ActRaiser. And similar kind of thing. In ActRaiser 1, it's more just demons. In ActRaiser 2, it's embodiments of the 7 deadly sins kind of a thing. And Soul Blazer, I feel like takes place after ActRaiser 2, because you are the avatar of the master who is being sent out to kind of repopulate the world. It's very samey story-wise. Evil has come again and has sealed away all the life on the planet. So you've got to go into the dungeons and you fight things and you eventually unlock these little seals and re-release life onto Earth. So to that one, it feels like the master, who is the main character in this one, has sent you, his new avatar, out to do all that work. And eventually you do repopulate, whatever. And then I think after that, it's Terranigma. And I think Terranigma comes second. And this is where there's some debate, quote unquote. Debate is, so Terranigma, it's kind of the same thing. We live underground. Our name is Ark. We unlock a little bat demon thing from a box. We find a thing, we fall through a hole, then we're on. Essentially, it's the same kind of thing, but instead of releasing and rebuilding based on, individual person or a bird or a tree or a bridge or whatever, it's like continents, right? We rebuild Earth basically from scratch, right? So Ark somehow, through the magic of magic, survives from like prehistoric times to modern semi-futuristic times. And as he's defeating all these evils that are working on behalf of a greater evil, he rebuilds society, civilization. And then Illusion of Gaia, I can't remember the name of the kid we play. It don't matter. Our character there, Will, his name is Will. Our character there is traveling the world looking for his parents, or his dad at least, who went off on this expedition and never came back. And we visit places like the Nazca lines and Incan ruins and Angkor Wat and all these places that are real world places, which would not exist had the events of Terranigma not happened. So that's my thoughts. That's Castlevania music. That's very short Castlevania music. This is Earthbound Rock Candy music. Anyway, so what I want to do, very We got that twice in one thing. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I worked hard on those. I didn't work hard on those. So what I want to do here on these pages, I want to have like this series includes these games, or chronological order of these games would be blah, 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 blah. And I want to do that for ActRaisers, for Castlevanias. I used to have them set up somewhere. Like you'd come to the Let's Play page and there was a thing for game series, and you'd click that and it would be, here's all the Zelda games in story order. Here's all the Castlevania games in story order. Here's all the Mega Man games in story order. Yeah, WordPress. I know. It sucks. I'm not proud of it. Don't judge me. Or judge me, it's fine. So anyway. What I want to do, so if I come here and I want, I want to learn to type, that would be good. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Told you, typing on this thing is not a joy. So like a gallery. Gallery could kind of work, right? So if we put in, I'll do title screens. I don't love it. I don't love it, Johnny. It's not my favorite. Come on, you can open. There we go. Don't need that anymore. Don't need that anymore. This is Magic Sword. Okay. So we're in ActRaiser 1. So we want ActRaiser 1, ActRaiser 2. The problem here is it does this. It makes them huge, and I don't want them huge. So I need to use a different thing. I mean, I could do this and change it, but that's annoying. So what we might do, block setting. Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that either. So what we might do, we might just make a new gallery here and just, have them there. And instead of ActRaiser 1 having every game except ActRaiser 1, ActRaiser 1 just has every game. ActRaiser 2 has every game. And they're in as much of a chronological order as we can put them in. You know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking. And we could do them either in a carousel or responsive or something. I don't know yet. So let's try it. We want custom URL is fine. Go 125. No lightbox. Then how was I doing this? Like that. Let's look. Edit. I just don't like using it. Really. That's my thing, Johnny. It is not my favorite CMS, but I didn't want to relearn one I used to use, so dark, thin, medium, medium, medium. Okay. None, dark, none, none. Whoosh. We don't need Zelda music. I'm still sick of Zelda music. This is Maze. So good. Okay, perfect. And okay, that'll work. So for this one, it is. You're not wrong, but I just don't like using it. It's icky. This sucks too, because I can't. There's no folders. There, that'll work. And illusion. Okay. So this is my presumed order. It was the other ActRaisers. Yeah. Why it's in there twice, I don't know. So we're going to add this. What do I call this? What do they call this? So they call it the Quintet Trilogy. Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terra Enigma. So I'll call it Quintet. No, I don't like that. I prefer that. So, we would come down here. I need to make a thing. Let's make a thing right. You won't get to see it, but trust me, I'm making a thing. Well. Oh. All right. This is such a good game. There's a Let's Play of Maze here on the website if you want to watch it. See, this is, I don't know why this does this. Sometimes it just decides, I don't want to do what I'm hired to do anymore. But there's Maze. So how I have to fix this, and I've talked to the people who made the gallery about it. Like, I don't know. It shouldn't. I say, yeah, it shouldn't, but it does. So I have to come here and I have to update. Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it just doesn't. I don't know. Anyway. Good old WordPress. What was I doing? I was doing something. What was I doing? I want this. Copy image. Cancel. Put that in there. This is Gungrave. All right. We need a typeface for this. That's too big. This might have to be 2 lines. That goes against everything I stand for, having it on 2 lines. I think that'll work. Excuse me. Oh, God. $300 by 40. Okay, we'll do this the old-fashioned way. don't even need that folder anymore. Get out of here. That's what I want. Okay, so here we want image library. So go here. To grab that, paste it there. That should work. Now the problem with doing it this way is if we get something that's got a bunch like Zelda or Mega Man or whatever, we're gonna go vertical again. And if I can keep this as like a carousel, wouldn't be so bad. Like something like this. But this requires stuff. Scaling normal. That's fine. Just a URL. Dark, thin, medium, 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 none. Fly. Not too bad. Drop. No. That's okay. So the problem here, though, is now they're not going to be in order. And we want them in order. Absolutely not. Caption, right? Description. I don't remember. We'll go with that. Yeah. We don't even need it. This is more rock candy music. So I guess that's okay. I'll love it. I'll hate it. Remember, there's so much that I gotta pay for, and I'm not gonna pay for it. I'm just not. Ain't gonna do it. My only complaint about this recording here is the vocals are a little low. This song is based on the idea that Venus, the lounge singer, and Jeff has a crush on Venus. That's the idea. Anyway, that's a little better. So that's not terrible. I don't love it. Oh, I hate it. It ain't terrible. I think we need something here to break this up. So give me that. Put a line there. Save. I think that's okay. So part of my, wanting to not have such a tall website is with my little flag here. I don't want it to go down much lower than that. Speaking of ActRaiser, here's some ActRaiser music. So I think this is okay. I think this is all right. So now on this page, I'm going to go separator. Going to go image. That. And then we do, because this is the same one as this, we can just copy that, paste it there. Did I do it right? Does it look the same? I don't have the link for the ActRaiser 2 review. Yeah, I think that's okay. So let's grab, don't need those anymore, don't need that anymore. It's almost time to go. Perfect timing. ActRaiser 2 review. Copy link. ActRaiser 2, my review. Paste, save. Okay. One thing I will say I appreciate about WordPress, there's not a lot, but there's a couple things. Because I don't want to sound all doom and gloom. So the slug for ActRaiser 2 is just ActRaiser 2. So anything that links to ActRaiser 2 links here to ActRaiser 2. Now, if I have to change that and spell it out, ActRaiser 2, and I change it, it'll automatically change that slug everywhere else on site. So I don't have to go through and change every single little link, which is very handy. So, okay. Well, there we go. That's our updates for the day. I'll need to make an update thing about it because that was last Sunday. So if you've been watching, thanks. We'll do this again next Sunday morning. Assuming I'm not, too hungover or anything like that. Which is always a possibility. Always. But if you missed it, we added... What did we add? We added all the episodes for Chrono Trigger, Chuck Rock, and Clash at Demon Head. We have this is Comic Zone. This is a Sega game. So these are Sega guitars. It's not very good. The last review was for Barnyard Blast, Swine of the Night. So when we come back next week, I've got tomorrow off, and I actually took Tuesday off. Tuesday is off because the holiday. I took Monday off this week. So when the next ones we take care of will actually be Comic Zone, the game we're listening to right now. Commander Keen and Contra will be done. Contraforce and Kapoka will be done. Koryun, just like Chip and Dale, is broken, and I can't fix it. I've tried several times and it won't fix, so I got to work on that. And I will do Crypt Custodian. And from there, we'll work on the Ds. We'll be with the Ds for a while. There's a lot of them, and a couple of them are pretty long. Dragon Quest 7 is very long. Dragon Quest 8 is very long. 9 was pretty long. Oh, something else we're doing. Something else we're doing. So Dust is in here twice. You see, because one's a live stream and one's not. What I've done... Did we do it in Castlevania 2? I think we did it with Castlevania 2. So if it's a game I live streamed, along with a Let's Play, I tucked them both in the same thing. So that's what we did there. Didn't add the review to that either. I got to go ahead and check those. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So Thanks, everybody. Go get yourself some breakfast. And, yeah. We'll see you next Sunday morning for our regular Sunday morning thing. And, stream tomorrow. We're going to be doing more Gal Guardians. This one. Right here. Right here. Right here. This game. So, see you then.